In the quiet town of Ravenswood, perched at the edge of a dense, whispering forest, there was a legend that everyone knew but no one dared to speak aloud after dusk. It was said that the forest was cursed, hiding beneath its canopy a creature born from mythology, an old, forgotten legend that had long since been dismissed as mere stories told around campfires. That creature was the Manticore. Half lion, half scorpion, with a tail lined with venomous spines and a face like a human's twisted in eternal fury. Stories told of its malevolent gaze and its insatiable hunger, how it prowled the woods at night, hunting anything that dared venture too close. But for years, no one truly believed these tales. No sightings, no cries, but that changed one restless autumn evening. Lena Carter was 15, adventurous, with a penchant for ghost stories and forgotten histories. She'd always been fascinated by the legends surrounding Ravenswood, especially since her best friend, Amir, had recently become obsessed with unraveling the truth behind the myths. Despite her reservations, Lena was pulled into his investigations, especially when Amir proclaimed he'd found evidence that the creature had come to life. It had started with strange symbols carved into trees, symbols that looked like ancient runes. Then, there were reports from the older residents about hearing guttural roars that echoed through the night. Amir was relentless, and Lena couldn't resist her curiosity. They packed their flashlights and some supplies and decided to explore the depths of the forest where the symbols were found. As twilight dimmed into night, the forest grew eerily quiet, the usual cricket songs and rustling leaves replaced by an almost suffocating silence. Their footsteps crunched softly on fallen leaves as they ventured deeper, coordinates mapped out on Amir's phone. Suddenly, a faint flicker caught Amir's eye. He darted ahead, shining his flashlight toward a clearing they hadn't noticed before. In the center of the clearing, something staggered, massive, cloaked in shadows. At first, Lena thought it was a bear, but as her eyes adjusted, her blood ran cold. It had the feline grace of a lion but bore an expression twisted with rage and sorrow. Its face was partly human, with burning yellow eyes that glinted with intelligence and madness. Its massive tail curled behind it, spines glistening in the moonlight. Amir whispered, "It's real. It's the Manticore." His voice trembled, but he couldn't look away. Suddenly, the creature's eyes locked onto theirs, burning with primal fury. It let out a guttural roar that vibrated through the forest, an unearthly sound that chilled Lena to her core. Then it lunged, claws scraping the air, mouth snapping with razor-sharp teeth. Lena and Amir staggered backward, hearts pounding. The creature stalked forward, and Lena remembered the stories, how the Manticore was cursed, torn from its mythic origins and brought to life by a dark, ancient magic that had seeped into the forest after centuries of neglect and superstition. "Run!" Lena yelled, grabbing Amir's arm. They didn't hesitate. Their running footsteps echoed as they fled through the trees, branches whipping their faces. Behind them, the creature's furious roars chased them, each scream more menacing than the last. Out of breath, they finally burst out of the woods, the creature's snarls fading into the distance. They collapsed onto the grassy edge of the forest, gasping for air. Lydia looked back, heart pounding in her chest. She saw nothing, just the dark trees swaying in the wind, the woods seemingly holding their secret once more. The next morning, Ravenswood woke to a strange quiet. No signs of the night's chaos, no broken branches, no footprints, nothing. But Lena knew better. She knew the creature had come to life because she had heard its roar echo in her mind even hours later. Over the next few days, strange occurrences intensified. Shadows moved across the edges of her vision. Her house was filled with faint, animalistic growls. Lena felt eyes watching her from the darkness, and at night, she'd wake to the sensation of something heavy lurking just outside her window. She confided in Amir, who was equally disturbed. They realized that their encounter had awakened something that had been dormant for centuries. The myth wasn't just a story, it was a curse, and now the creature was trapped in the waking world. Desperate, they sought out the town librarian, Mrs. Winthrop, an old woman who knew the history of Ravenswood better than anyone. She told them of a ritual, an ancient rite that could banish the creature if performed at the heart of the forest during the full moon's peak. But there was a warning. If the magic was broken or performed improperly, the curse would strengthen, and the creature would become unstoppable. On the night of the full moon, Lena and Amir returned to the forest, clutching written incantations and charms. The moon hung high, casting a ghostly pallor on the woods. As they reached the clearing, a terrifying silence descended. Then, with a deafening roar, the Manticore burst forth from the shadows, more furious and monstrous than before. The creature's eyes blazed with unnatural intelligence and rage, and it charged at them, claws slashing through the cold night air. Lena and Amir recited the ritual in unison, their voices trembling but resolute. They threw the charms at the creature, chanting the words they hoped would banish it forever. The air thickened with dark energy, sparks flying from their words as the creature thrashed and roared, desperately fighting against the magic. For a moment, everything seemed to freeze, the creature's limbs twisting in a blur of chaos. Then, with a final, ear-shattering scream, the beast was engulfed in a shimmering light, dissipating into a cloud of smoke and ashes. The forest fell silent once more, the curse lifted, or so they thought. But as dawn broke, Lena glimpsed something, a faint, shimmering tail buried among the roots, the spines still faintly glowing. It was a reminder that some legends never truly die, and some monsters never truly vanish. From that day on, the woods of Ravenswood remained quiet, but Lena knew better. The myth had come to life once more, sleeping beneath the surface, waiting for the day it would roar again, and when it did, perhaps this time, it would be forever free.